Thanks for tuning into the Library Show. My name is Kelsey Rubich, and I'm the Assistant Director of the Billings Public Library. I'm excited to give you a behind-the-scenes look at what's happening at your library. Our library is more than just a place to borrow books. It's a community hub where you can explore new ideas, learn new skills, and connect with others. We offer access to millions of physical and electronic items, along with programming for all ages. With our outreach services, we meet our community where they are, ensuring that everyone has access to the resources they need. Whether you're interested in our diverse programs, innovative services, or the latest additions to our collection, we've got something for everyone. Join us as we explore the many facets of our library, meet our amazing staff, and see how we're making a difference in our community. We hope you'll feel inspired to visit, connect with others, and take advantage of everything we have to offer. Let's get started and dive into all of the exciting things happening at your Billings Public Library.
Hi, I am Lena. I am one of the writers for the Reader's Corner blog at Billings Public Library, and today I will be sharing one of my favorite posts that I've ever written for the blog from October 23rd of this last year on Baking Yesteryear, the best recipes from the 1900s to the 1980s by B. Dylan Hollis. Greetings, readers and chefs alike. I am thrilled out of my mind to be writing about a very special book. A cookbook, to be exact. A stranger I am not to reviewing cookbooks. You can find my other cookbook reviews on the blog as well. As you can imagine, I love cooking/baking, and I love cookbooks. We're lucky to have such a diverse collection of them here at the library. I'm excited that Baking Yesterday by B. Dylan Hollis, the cookbook I'll be reviewing this time, will be earning a well-deserved spot. Dylan is an internet and social media personality who, like me, loves to cook and bake, his particular specialty being vintage/retro recipes. I use both terms because the 80s won't be considered vintage for another few decades and are therefore, quote-unquote, retro. No one can tell or convince me otherwise. Was I alive during the 80s? No. But will I defend their honor anyway? Abso-freaking-lutely. There, that's my tangent for the day. Anyway, Dylan collects various cookbooks from thrift stores, estate sales, etc., picks a recipe to try, and creates and posts videos about them. He's been making content since the beginning of the pandemic, but I've only just discovered him within this past year. He's become a viral sensation and just released a best-selling cookbook compiling some of the best and worst vintage retro recipes he's tried over the years. I'm excited to be commentating one of those recipes for you, as it will be the first recipe in his cookbook that I'll be trying. You heard it here first, folks! Obviously, I can't share the whole recipe with you here. Something copyright claims. If I were ever to meet Dylan, a dream come true, I'd want to be competing for the goofiest best friend award, not the foulest arch nemesis award. That being said, I'll share pictures, which you can see on the blog, of the finished product and my own notes and observations along the way. After reading the cookbook cover to cover, I've decided that my inaugural recipe will be banana split bars, which can be found in the 1980s section. All of the recipes are grouped by decade, by the way, which I love and appreciate. It's fun to see how food has evolved over time. Our relatives and predecessors sure had some quirky culinary ideas, some quirkier than others. Based on the videos I've seen and recipes I've read, it seems that the earlier the decade, the more quote-unquote innovative chefs of the time were trying to be. That being said, some of these innovations couldn't survive the test of time. Gelatin and mayonnaise in particular had to work hard to salvage their reputation, which gelatin has yet to accomplish. While I followed this recipe as written, I decided to add some chocolate sprinkles on top as a little something extra. You can't have a banana split without chocolate, after all. That's my opinion, anyway. I brought this treat to Sunday dinner with my partner's family, and it received a standing ovation, as well as a request to be made again soon. So, needless to say, these are delish. Next time, I might try them with a little chocolate drizzle instead. The sprinkles were nice, but the chocolate flavor was a little too subtle for my liking. These bars could use just a tiny bit more, I think. Here are a few notes you might find helpful. Wear gloves when you chop maraschino cherries. If you don't, your hands will turn red. I learned this the hard way. It does wash off eventually, but still something to watch out for. Definitely start at the low end of the baking time. The recipe says 30 to 35 minutes, and mine were done in 30. Overbaking is, of course, something you can't come back from. The recipe calls for an 8-ounce can of crushed pineapple. I accidentally bought a larger can. Whoops. If you do the same, measure out a cup and you'll be fine. Just make sure you include some of the juice, as the recipe calls for that. You may already know this if you bake banana bread, but the riper the bananas, the better. These taste okay if eaten chilled, but have a much nicer crumb if eaten at room temperature. I adored every single page of Baking Yesteryear. It's obvious that this book is Dylan's magnum opus, and his personality shines through on every page. Even if you're not familiar with him as a content creator, you will still find his cookbook a delight. Happy reading and cooking/baking.
Good morning, Billings. This is Jacqueline with a tour day downtown, and we're here at the Western Heritage Center to learn some more about it with Lauren. So, Lauren, if you want to introduce yourself real quick.
Absolutely. I'm Lauren, and I'm the community historian here at the Western Heritage Center. There's always some exciting things going on downtown here, so we're just a part of the mess.
Yeah. And we're here to learn more about it. I myself don't know very much. So, can you tell us about a favorite customer or patron encounter you've had here?
You know, I really love when people are able to come inside and just learn something they didn't realize before, or experience a perspective that they hadn't considered before. We work really, really hard to tell primary stories from the correct perspectives, and to include the incredible diversity of our community within those stories.
Yeah.
So whenever you come in, I just love it when our visitors are, you know, like, their eyebrows raise up, they get super excited, and they're like, oh, I never thought about that before.
Yeah.
I love it with the little kids. The little kids are so much fun, but it's just as gratifying to see it with an adult. And they come in and they're like, I never heard of this person, and yet they're amazing, and now I have to go search them out myself. Always one of my favorites.
That seems like it would just be a treasure.
It's so
especially
fun.
with the kiddos.
It's so fun.
What is one thing you wish that everyone in Billings knew about the Western Heritage Center?
You know, we are here for our community, and we want to tell our community stories. And because of that, you know, we're a historic building. We only have a few gallery spaces. That means that we change our exhibits. Every 8 to 12 weeks, a new exhibit is coming in. A new exhibit is opening up. And most of them are original. That means that we've done the research, we've developed the exhibit. The exhibit is telling a story related to this region. They're not coming in from, you know, a lot from outside. And so just because you say, oh, I've been there, I know the Western Heritage Center. Do you really?
Yeah.
Have you
Do
been
you know
here?
this right now? Yeah.
Have you been here in the last 6 weeks? Because if you haven't, it's changed. It's different. And, you know, we really try to offer free days to our community. We try to offer opportunities for people to come in and learn and use our resources, because we do really cool stuff, but it means nothing if we're not here and flexible for our community.
Which is really reasonable anyways.
Yeah.
It's only $5 for an adult, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just learned that myself. So, would you rather ride a bike or read a book?
Can I do both?
You could do.
I love audiobooks. I love audiobooks.
There you go.
I do audiobooks in my car all the time. Reading is one of my I just love to read, and so being able to pair physical activity like riding a bike with an audiobook is just perfect.
Yeah.
It's so perfect.
And with that goes my next question. Do you have a recommendation you would give to the population?
Specifically about, so we currently have an exhibit up on Richard Throssell, who was a Métis man living on the Crow Reservation at the turn of the century. Incredible story, and his photographs are amazing. Peggy Albright wrote a book called Crow Indian Photographer that is about Richard Throssell. It's really one of the only books about Throssell available. So good. In connection to that, Throssell actually worked with Edward Curtis, the famed ethnographic photographer at the turn of the century. Timothy Egan wrote a book called Short Nights of the Shadowcatcher, specifically about Curtis. And Egan's book has, I think, 3 chapters specifically about Curtis's work in Montana.
Oh, wow.
And so either one of those books would directly relate to exhibits that we have right now. Both of them are really good, really great history, grounded in correct information like primary research, but they're also really easy to read. They're great stories. So either one of those, highly recommend.
I love it. And then come and see
the exhibit on Richard Throssell, because it's wonderful.
We're going to do one last question here.
Yep.
What's your favorite thing about downtown?
There's always something happening down here. You know, whether it's shopping or restaurants or Alive at 5, or you've got the market on Saturdays. You've got multiple museums all within walking distance. There's always something going on downtown. So if you got nothing else to do, you just come down here and park and walk around, and you'll find something. It's so good. It's so cool. It's so fun.
That's awesome. There is always something going on, especially here and at the library.
Absolutely.
So we'll have to check it out. Lauren has been gracious enough to show us one of the rooms, so we're going to head into the Western Heritage Center and check one out before we go. So let's do it.
I haven't gotten to play with the library all summer, so I got a little excited.
Oh, I'm excited that you're here.
Yeah. Are we still on?
Yep.
Awesome. So we get to come all the way up to the grand entrance.
A beautiful building.
The building itself is an exhibit. Hi, guys. So this is one of our newest exhibits. It's called Homestead Fever. It highlights the photography of Lee Silliman, who's a Montana artist, but we've supplemented it. We've used a lot of our own objects from our own collection, and it really explores some of the uniqueness of the homestead story here in this region. And what I think a lot of people miss is that homesteading is significantly more recent than a lot of people think. When I say homestead, people are thinking, the 1870s, the 1880s. Homesteading here in this region goes all the way into the 1930s and 1940s.
Oh, wow.
So a much longer history than a lot of people realize. We're able to actually play some of the oral histories that were collected in the 90s and early 2000s to hear those stories firsthand. You can hear me tell a story and it's cool. It's so much more impactful to hear somebody who experienced that tell their story. We have so many really cool objects. There's a lot of things that if you take the time to look, you'll be really surprised by what you find. Toys, clothing, farm equipment, home, kitchen equipment, books, a little bit of everything in here. And so, if you're looking for something interesting and cool, Western Heritage Center is always the place to start, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, do you have any questions?
Fabulous. I think we do not. We're going to have resources.
It's really
that
cool.
will be at the bike.
Well, and just to add real quick, we do have children's activities in this exhibit as well. So,
is that what these are?
Yeah. So we have the garden available, and Lincoln logs.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
those are always fun too.
That's great. Something for the kids
There
too.
you go.
So wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Lauren.
My
I really
pleasure.
appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
And I would encourage everybody to come and take a look.
We appreciate it.
So have a great day.
Hi, my name is Carrie, and I am part of the library's book blog review corner. And I am reading my review on a DVD series we have called Defending Jacob. It is 7 episodes long, 3 discs, volume 1, 2, and 3. It's based on the New York Times best-selling book of the same name, written by William Landay, and it stars Chris Evans, who is better known as Captain America, as Andy Barber, Michelle Dockery, who was in Downton Abbey, as his wife Linda Barber, and Jaden Martell from It Chapters 1 and 2 as his son Jacob. Chris Evans plays an ADA whose life is turned upside down when his teenage son is accused of murdering a classmate. He is forced to choose between his duty to uphold the law and his unconditional love and support for his son. The series flips back and forth between the courtroom and the outside world a lot, so be prepared. 14-year-old Ben Rifkin is found stabbed to death in a park by the middle school both he and Jacob attend. They immediately look at a local pedophile named Leonard Patz as a suspect, but the caveat is that only one fingerprint was found on the body, and it's Jacob's. His excuse sounds plausible until you find out that Jacob is hiding things, very incriminating things. Jacob is soon under arrest and charged with Ben's murder. It turns out that Andy is also hiding something. His absentee father, played by the wonderful J.K. Simmons, is currently serving a life sentence in prison for a grisly rape and the murder of a young female. Could this be genetic? They're both tested for something called the murder gene to see if his father has it, and they want to see if his son also has it as well. There's a trial that ends in a shocking twist, a vacation that turns sour, and an act of desperation that has life-altering consequences. I have my own opinions on Jacob's guilt or innocence, but I'm curious to know what yours is after you read and or watch the series. So stop by the desk if you see me on it, and we can discuss.
I'm a reference librarian at the Billings Public Library. I'm out here on our Thursday Community Connection program with the BPL Bike Library. Each Thursday with the Community Connections program, I go to different spots around downtown Billings and share some of the resources we have. Some of it's like these really awesome adult coloring books. What's up, man? And we've got some other, yeah, please take a water. You want a coloring book, man? Do you want a coloring book? Yeah, these are super sweet. Yeah. Yeah, dude, seriously. Good seeing you, man. And so we go to different spots all around Billings. I'm here today at the Montana Rescue Mission. Last week, or a couple weeks ago, I was at the Salvation Army, looking to maybe go to the Crisis Center and other really close nearby downtown resources where folks just might be, you know. I think the response to this program is really good. I think a huge emphasis in this specific program is bringing library resources to where people are already at. So instead of asking them to meet us somewhere or expecting people to get to a spot where we're going to be, it's about bringing these resources to where folks may be already hanging out. So I think that, and the fact that when people come up, they're shocked at what we have. They're really stoked to see the hygiene products and fun things like coloring books and community resources, of course sunscreen and water. Huge shout out to the Mental Health Center, specifically their PATH program. They donated a whole bunch of these coloring books, a whole bunch of these like fidgety things which are super fun to mess with, stickers. They gave us some extra hygiene products too. stress balls, an assortment of really cool products to just give out during these community connection programs. So again, the PATH program is a great resource put on by the Mental Health Center. They offer assistance to folks who are homeless and facing mental health issues. So huge shout out to them. Thank you again. Yeah, you can always meet PATH on Fridays at 12 to 2 at the Billings Public Library. They're always in the lobby area each Friday. You can learn more on the Billings Public Library's website, billingslibrary.org, or follow us on Instagram, BPL Bike Library.